Good evening, welcome to Season 15 of Next Gen. This is the Modern Touring Cars. We're here at Nurburgring GP for round number 2 of the series. Let's have a recap of the championship standings before we get underway with qualifying fully with this 5-minute format. It doesn't take long before they're all out there giving it a go. So, leading this championship is NGR Jamie WRX. He's on 22 points with NGR Fraser on 19. Has the Baz is on 15 with NGR Lee on 13. Jack is on 12 with Lightblade on 11. Ginge is on 10 with D Whitehouse 7 on 9. Omega 1984 is on 8. Scooby G on 7. Quite frankly, his worst start to the season. Brewster 71A is on 6. Webby's Johnny on 5. Danzo 4. Royston 3. Tro 246 on 2, and Tim didn't score last time out. The drivers tonight, we have a full lobby of cars. We have Jack TM53 Synopsis in the Astra, Scooby G in the BMW, Shadow Stalker in the Astra, Webby's Johnny in the Merc, D Whitehouse 7 in the Merc, NGR Bone Fry, he is also in a Merc, NGR Lee is in a BMW, Lightblade 2K18, he is in a Mercedes. Danzo in a Mercedes, Jamie in a Mercedes, Fraser in a Mercedes, Omega in a Mercedes, Tro246 in an Astra, NGR Tim is in a Mercedes, Brewster in an Astra, and finally NGR Ginge in a BMW. Someone was off. I don't know who that is. It's a Mercedes of some sort. It's Burn Fry in the Zippenol Mercedes. Let's go for a lap of the track with Jack TM53 Synopsis. I can get the roof cam. Here we go. Nurburgring GP. Astra style. Down the main straight we go. As we head down towards Haughaken. This tight hairpin right. Bit of wheel spin. So you enter the Mercedes arena, this long left-hander, which kind of nips up and opens at the same time. A little straight into another long, tighter left-hander this time. Couple of ways around it. Jack stayed it tight to open up the right-hander. Down now towards the Valvoline curve. Very quick left-hander this if you get it right. Tap the brakes, get the front end tucked in, bring in the throttle into the forward curve. Again, hit the brakes down to second, get it tucked in so you can get on that throttle. Then you head down towards Dunlop curve. Minute 38 to go. Hit the brakes. Down to third, down to second. So you're squaring the corner up, trying to get the throttle on as early as possible. Up towards the Schumacher S. Flick left, flick right. Absolutely pinned in that Astra. He's loving it. The cornering into this car is exceptional. Into the Michelin curve. Lovely little line through there. Into Warsteiner. It's somewhat of a tricky corner, Warsteiner, but fairly well negotiated there by Jack. Down the back straight we go towards Ad Van Bogen. An absolute flat right. In any car that is flat. Up towards the NGK chicane. A tight left, tight right. With the brakes as late as you can. He's almost gone in too deep there, Jack. He's well recovered. Hitting the brakes that late. Into the Coca-Cola curve. Started getting some timings through. 36 seconds remain. Who's going to get another lap in? An NGR tag goes top. An NGR tag goes top. Jack goes second with a 206.3.1 behind. Who's got that? Scooby G in the BMW goes top. Followed by Ginge, who goes top in his BMW. Scooby G is second, with Omega third, a second off the pace. There's Jamie in fourth, Jack fifth, Fraser sixth currently, D Whitehouse is seventh, Lightblade crosses the line, he goes eighth. So now everyone's times are done and dusted. NGR Lee having a bad lap, and he's qualifying as over. Shadow Stalker actually just deciding, you know what, he's probably invalidated his lap. Why not do a few starting practices as he crosses the line. So Ginge at the moment is your current pole sitter in his orange BMW, very reminiscent of the RAC days for the BMW touring car team over in, who are here in Britain, from where I'm commentating from. These guys racing in Germany. That's how good the connection is with the cameras. Scooby G currently 3/10 off the pace. I mean, it's a good gap here that Scooby G's got to take out of Ginge. There's Omega. He goes back to the pits. Jack currently running third on the road, I think. Who is opening the road effectively? It's Fraser who's opening the road, followed by DY7. Then it is Jack on the road. So let's have a look. Fraser in the Mercedes. He's 1.6 down on Ginge. 3 people without times. I think one of them might be Tim, potentially. Fraser comes across the line. Moves up to 3rd place. Good stuff. DY7 does not complete his lap. Jack goes 4th quickest. Scooby goes quickest, and Ginge has messed up his lap. Scooby G currently sits on pole position. Jamie can't dethrone him. Light Blades had issues at the chicane. Here comes up user Johnny. He goes into 8th fastest. It looks like we've had a bit of a mess up at the chicane here between Burnt Fry. Tim's going through there. Light Blade and Danzo. So not ideal for either of those guys. Here's Jamie. Ginge just coming into the final corner. As suspected, he can't do anything with his lap time, so he's going to do a couple of practice starts while the time allows it. Yeah, I wouldn't start in 3rd either. He crosses the line to finish the session. So, Scooby G takes his 2nd pole position of the night in his BMW. NGR Ginge is 2nd on the grid. Row 2 contains NGR Fraser and Jack TM53 Synopsis, a great effort in the Astra. Row 3 is Omega 1984 and Jamie WRX. Row 4, DY7 and web user Johnny. Row 5, Lightblade, 2K18 and Danzo D7. Row 6, Brewster 71A and NGR Lee. Row 7 contains Shadowstalker DBS and Burnt Fry, who didn't set a time. And the final row number 8, Tro246 and Tim78 share that row, both not setting a time. But good times, 2:04s from Scooby G, a good 3/10 ahead of Ginge. There's only one way to find out who's going to win this race, and that's by getting it underway here on this 3.19 mile circuit. So Scooby G, NGR Ginge, we sink in round number 2, 3 red lights. We are green at Nurburgring. Who's got the best start out of the 2 BMWs at the front row? It's Scooby G by a mile. Ginge had an awful getaway. Those practice starts amounting to nothing. And Jack not getting a good start either as we head down to the first turn. Scooby G pretty much clear. And look at Lee moving way up the field there. A bit of bunching, bit of tapping, bit of bumping. It looks like we've all got away pretty clean. No, we haven't. We've got a Astra round. Into the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Ginge has managed to keep that 2nd place from Omega. There's Jamie, Fraser and Jack. Jack, that car, that Astra, has not finished higher than 5th like he did last time around. NGR there, and Fraser's making a mistake in the Mercedes-Benz arena. And he's made another horrific mistake there, touching the grass. Good save, but he's got DY7 right up his chuff, who's got a light blade, who's been tapped, and there goes Johnny, round he goes. So Johnny to the back of the pack for the second time tonight, I'm afraid. Yeah, he looks like he's just gone for a move there on light blade, and the car's just turned around. Good start there from Burnt Fry as well. He's up into the top 10 already. At the front though, Scooby G is 4/10 in front of Ginge, who is gradually catching, I think. But Omega's got absolutely immense pressure from behind, from Jamie and from Jack. That Astra not very quick in a straight line, but it is very, very good in the corners. As they head onto the back straight for the first time of 10. Just have a look through the field. That's Tim getting overtaken by Danzo. And there's Johnny at the back. Meanwhile, at the front, that's Omega across the grass at the chicane. In the field behind. So Omega lets him catch up. And here comes Jamie having a look down the inside now. Down the main straight towards Hackett. And is Jack going to have a little fancy up the inside here as well? Oh, he looks like he wants to split the middle of them here. That's a very brave move from the Astra man. And Omega's managed to keep that place. That's a great effort. Ginge now nearly a second behind Scooby G. He's looking for his second win of the night, having won the Group A1 Tours. That means a spoiler if you haven't seen the Group A1 Tours. If you haven't watched them, do go and watch it. It's a great watch in the M1 Pro Cars around it. Burnt Fry's on the tail here of Lightblade, and these two know each other quite well from GT Sport. I've raced both of them on GT Sport, so this should become a good battle during this race. 246 and Danzo together on the circuit. Danzo maybe looking for a move into the Dunlop cover. No, he breaks a bit earlier. Maybe looking for the exit rather than the entrance. The Schumacher S, completely different lines, and Danzo's got the move complete. Don't normally see an overtake through there, but it looked like Troy just caught the curb a bit too much and forced him in a bit. Meanwhile, at the front, Jack's moved down to 7th place. There goes Fraser in 6th. NGRE's up to 5th. Oh, a bit of a bum there from Fraser. Line astern heading into the curve. Omega still being followed here by Jamie in this stack of 3 cars, and DY7 looking quite interested now as well, as he's gradually gaining on this pack. Burnt Fry in the background has got past Lightblade by a significant margin. As Lightblade has Brewster looking down the inside. Brewster backs out of it last minute. Jamie got past Omega in the end through the Mercedes arena there. Lee is now having a look because Lee is in 5th. It's a problem with this group of cars. Lightblade's got a penalty. Go away from 1 second to watch another battle, and there's already been moves made. Down to Dunlop curve. And Omega defending here from Lee. And oh my word, that was close. NGR just clipping what looked like the gravel on the outside, and it spears him across the front of the field. NGR Fraser a fantastic get out of that. It did allow Jack through into 5th place though. But yeah, very good all around from everyone. Unfortunately, Lee just clipping the grass and being rear-wheel drive, it does just spit you off. Fraser very lucky not to be collected there, as he's now looking for a move on Jack coming up towards the chicane. Round the outside. Oh, and Fraser goes and has to cut the chicane. He's going to have to give that back, you know. That move was not completed on the circuit. Flash of the lights to say to Jack, go around me. And DY House 7 immediately takes advantage of that penalty. Down the inside. Slam bang, thank you man. Great opportunistic driving that from DY House 7. He knew Fraser would have to slow down to let Jack back through. And he just took the opportunity with both hands, sliding himself down the inside at Halkaken. Fraser couldn't do anything about it. I think Fraser probably could have been a bit wiser with how he let Jack pass there. He could have allowed Jack around the outside and forced DY House 7 around that outside, but unfortunately he left the door wide open on the inside. So a bit of a tactical error almost there from Fraser. And he's had a big moment. He's spun it out Dunlop curve. Through goes an NGR tag. There goes NGR Lee. That's Brent Fry up into 7th place. He's having a wonderful debut in the modern touring cars. Even though he done Group A1s and clears last time, this is the first time Brent Fry's competed in the modern touring cars. And must I say, he's doing it very nicely there in 7th place. Jamie though in front of Omega. Jack looking to potentially try and get on the back of this battle. He wants to try and up that best position of the Astra. Down to Halkaken, and DY House 7 is looking interested at the moment. But can't really do a lot with this right now. Meanwhile, web user Johnny, behind Shadowstalker, who's also got Danzo behind Johnny. Johnny looking for a move down the inside of turn 1. He's been given the space, and pretty slam dunk move there from web user Johnny. Quite nice that from the Merc man. Can't really complain about that. NGR Fraser had a penalty and Lightblade does as well. DY House 7, that was close. Locking up on the entry to Dunlop curve. Almost hitting the back of Jack. Brewster down to 10th. Fraser, there's Lee, don't try. Back on board, and it isn't me, but Omega is considerably closer than he was. Lovely line that from Jack. He's going to pull away initially onto this back straight. Omega's had a bit of an issue somewhere because he is a lot closer to Jack now than in previous laps here as we enter the second half of this race. Now, I just want to draw your attention. This is our leader. We haven't seen a lot of him. It's Scooby G. He is actually still here, alive and winning this race, as Ginge is still in second. We've not really seen a lot of them. They've kind of just dominated this race a little bit at the front. But Omega now has less than a second to Jack behind him. 7/10 the gap. Through Valvoline and Ford we go. Down to Dunlop. He's got a bit line astern, but Jack, looking at different lines here, you can just tell that Astra, he has complete faith in taking a completely different line to try and gain that advantage. He has absolute belief it's going to stick, it's going to work, and it's going to be quicker. And to be honest, it's showing. He is catching Omega. He's now half a second behind. Meanwhile, Burnt Fry has NGR Lee, and he also has a penalty for good measure. I don't think he'll put much of a fight up against Lee. It's not really his fight. He doesn't want to lose any more time than he absolutely has to here. So if Lee gets alongside, I wouldn't be surprised if NGR Burnt Fry just goes, you know what, take it. Jack is ahead. Omega's behind both. I mean, this is what I mean. You go away to look at one other battle, and positions change. It's crazy. But Omega now down into 5th, and Jack currently in an Astra best 4th place here on lap number 6, going on to lap number 7. That Astra proving to be quite the weapon. I mean, right now, the people that are ahead of him on circuit, 3 people. That's Jamie, who is leading the championship, so he is a bit of an issue being in front. But both Ginge and Scooby G finished behind the Astra, so right now, Jack's looking quite nice. Fraser, who finished second last time out, was behind him, has the pass, is not even racing. Lee's behind him, so at the moment, he's looking at potentially moving up into second in this championship. There is that potential. But he's got 1.3 to Jamie here. The lead 2. The gap now down to 0.7. Can Ginge close in enough to mount an attack at the closing stage of this race? Because he is gradually closing in. He pulled about 3/10 last time around. He's now 5/10 behind going into the Schumacher S. And just looks... Oh, that's a bit wide. That's going to be a penalty. I'll be amazed if he didn't get over that. That was awful wheels. Although if he lifted as he went over it, he would have gotten away with that one. We'll stick with it though, because half a second, and this is for the lead. It's pretty much the first proper time. They've got some TV time, and there goes the lights. Say, I'm here. Yep, I am here. You've got 3 more laps, mate. Let's see how you can defend. Meanwhile, something's happened. There's Omega. There's Jamie. So all change again, and Jack into a podium place. That looked very messy out of the chicane. Seems like mistakes happening all over the show at the moment. There's Lee in the background in 7th place. Fraser, who's passed Burnt Fry. And behind, we've got Lightblade down the inside of Brewster. Brewster locked up a little bit at the back and kicking out a little. Lightblade gets 11th place. Meanwhile, I'm kind of hesitant because something always blinking happens. Oh yeah, there's some damage to Jamie. He's obviously been off somewhere. Yeah, Ginge. pulled another 2/10 that time around. He is quicker. He needs to pull more time now. He needs to force Scooby G into a mistake. Quick look through the field, make sure there's no other battling going on. Right now there's not. 0.8, 0.9. 1 second. Lee's made a mistake. NGR Ginge. And that could conceal the win. Scooby G yet again driving flawlessly on this round. Seems to like Nurburgring, whether it be the normal Nurburgring here or the Nordschleife. Into the chicane, and Jack very defensive, and DY House 7 almost getting a run out of it. He's got to be careful though, because Omega's right behind. Jack looking to make this the first Astra podium in Next Gen. And that's Next Gen history as well. But Omega has other ideas for DY House 7. He's looking down the inside, coming down toward Halkaken. Late on the brakes. Oh my word, has he gone down the inside? Yes, he has. Cameraman doing a fantastic job, and he's gone deep. I think, yes, he's gone very deep. That was a good effort. Very, very good effort. I'm looking for a double overtake. Jack is still there. Lightblade having a little bit of issue there. He's got a penalty. Back with Jack there and DY House 7. These two glued together. On board with DY House 7. Staring at the back of that Astra. At least DY House knows what it is. It says Astra written in big letters on the back. There it is. These guys have been fighting so hard. They're actually about 13 seconds away from the leaders. Right up into Michelin. Better line from Jack, really. Let him square it up nicely for the next corner. You see, the transition is just more seamless. Down the back straight we go again, up towards the NGK chicane. Number 23 Astra. Versus the number 29 Mercedes. Looking at the gaps, then we're going to stay with this until the end. Pretty much until we have to watch the BMWs cross the line, because they've been absolutely flawless this race. Jack crossed the line to start the final lap of this epic battle for third place. The one time Jack definitely doesn't want to mess this up now. He's ahead of every rival he needs to be in this championship. What is he? He is 10 points behind Jamie. He's got 15 in the bag here if he can stay where he is. Jamie's only on 11, so he'll take a lovely little bit of 4 points out of the championship leader. Amazingly, Jamie will still, I believe, gain in the lead in the standings of the championship, if I'm correct, although I might be wrong, which I usually am, as we head down towards Dunlop Curve for the final time. DY House 7 looking to the inside, can't quite do it there. Still looking down the inside. Jack, lovely defensive driving there. Gets a nice run out of Dunlop up towards the Schumacher S. Absolutely pinned. Jack not even feeling the need to defend right now, which is a great sense to have. when you know you don't have to defend into a corner, you can just take your normal line. Down as the back straight we go. I'm going to have to swap to the leader because he's coming up to the final corner. Just double check nothing's happening here. No, it's not. So Scooby G coming around the Coca-Cola curve for the final time. He will take round number 2 victory after a poor start in this series. Scooby G wins at Nurburgring, followed by Ginge, a great second place by him. Jack, TM53 Synopsis, rounds the final corner. I think he's going to take my driver of the day for the modern touring cars. Finishes on the podium with an Astra. What a result. Followed by DY House 7 in 4th. Jamie will take 5th, but not for long because Omega will come through for 5th. Jamie 6th. NGR Lee 7th. Fraser comes home in 8th place. Good recovery by him. Burnt Fry in 9th place on debut. A good run for him in the Mercedes. Webby to Johnny will finish 10th ahead of Lightblade, 2K18 in 11th. Brewster 71A will come home in 12th place, followed by Danzo in 13th. Shadowstalker in another Astra comes across the line. He's happy with that by the tunes of it. He's 14th. NGR Tim does not finish last. He finishes 15th ahead of Tro 246 in the last Astra, who finishes 16th. All 16 runners completing this race. So Scooby G takes the win from NGR Ginge. Jack takes 3rd from DY House 7 in 4th. Omega 5th. Jamie with his 1 second penalty finishes in 6th. NGR Lee is in 7th with Fraser in 8th. Burnt Fry in 9th with Webby Johnny 10th. Lightblade in 11th. Brewster 12th. Danzo 13th. Shadowstalker 14th. And Tim 78 15th. 246 rounds out the competitors in 16th and last. So that's it for the Modern Touring Cars tonight. They are back next Monday and they're off to Bathurst. So that should be a hell of a race. It's an interesting circuit out for these cars. I think the Astra will have it up the hill through all the corners, but BMWs should have down the Conrod straight. So an interesting one to see. So join us next week for that one. Next up is my POV of the Clios, Monday Night Clios here from Nurburgring. I believe we're on the sprint circuit this time now, so a slight change, but it will be a fantastic one to watch. If you want to join my ride, join me in about 5 minutes. But other than that, thank you for watching the Modern Touring Cars. Enjoy the rest of your evening.